good morning. I think things are working. That didn't sound good. Maybe I fixed all my mess. I fixed all my mess. And here's the deal. I don't know why. I hate that when it happens. Yeah, we got the. You like that?
That's so cool.
We are here, and I'm going to tell you something. We're having cookie cutter weather, and the cookie cutter weather, the best part about it, it's great weather. Now, I'm not happy about when it's summertime and you get that repeated forecast where, okay, high of 95 today, humidity in the low 70s. I'm not ready for those kind of weather days, but this weather day, we've been hitting about 75, 76. And those have been nice. Very well appreciated.
It is. It's going to be a great day and night for draft day. G is fired up. He
won't be able to sleep, will he?
Oh, heck no, man. He went to bed at like close to 11 last night. The dude was jacked. So he's laying there. I knew it was on his mind. It's good stuff.
I noticed a story that I saw yesterday just coming through the scrolls, and the Panthers have 3 players that have not reported to fully voluntary workats. And I hate to say this, but to be honest with you, I didn't recognize any names. I mean, there's not a lot of them there. There is a receiver that says he has been told by the Panthers that if he's there at the 33rd pick, I think they got the first pick of the second round, that they'll take him. And he's a pretty good receiver. It'll be interesting to see, and there's always some kind of trade drama happens at the last minute. And we'll have to see. I saw this yesterday. The Cowboys have picked up a 5th-year option for Micah Parsons.
Yep.
But you still got Dak, and you've still got CeeDee Lamb. That's 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And the problem is the way that the Cowboys do things. And I heard a great analogy, and I think I've heard you say this, that the Cowboys, they want to be America's team, but they don't have to be to win a Super Bowl to do that, because they can keep throwing enough carrots out there, keep Jerry World, filling up, and his equity, his holding is increasing. Now, do I think he still wants a Super Bowl? I do.
Oh,
I do.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't.
I don't think that's. I don't think that's the number one thing. As it is with most
right.
owners.
So, yesterday I put a little post out from something I stole from somebody. Where your attention is, your intention is. And I look at, just an example, I look at Green Bay. I don't see anything lavish there with the Lambeau Field or anything, but they're trying to win Super Bowls. I mean, they are. People can say, well, Aaron Rodgers, listen, they didn't surround him with anything. He's one of the greatest that have ever played. That is not an arguable point. Okay, he is from a skill set. Okay, he is a Hall of Famer. All right, but the goal of that organization, which they've done, is to win Super Bowls. I mean, for goodness sake, it's basically Lombardi Trophy, right? When you look at Dallas, yes, you can say, well, they won Super Bowls too. But what has been the focus is the experience of being a Cowboy and being a Cowboy fan.
Right.
And the lure, kind of like Steelers as of late. The lure of it, they went from Three River Stadium, right, to Heinz Field, okay? And it's more about the experience now of being that than actually achieving that. Now, is that wrong? If you're a fan, you think, well, I just want to win Super Bowls. I want to do, But this is where it is from a business standpoint. This is where that comes into play. And all of these people first are business owners. Okay? It's just a matter of what their intention is, and it's where their attention is.
There's no money made in running a sports franchise. The money is made is when you flip it.
Except in Jerry's. It's a great point, except in the Cowboys situation because of
all
the
other stuff.
Stadium.
Yeah.
And just you take you a week to go around inside, do all the fun things, eat at the restaurants, the memorabilia, looking at these things. And I say take you a week, a couple, 3 days. just to go through and experience the whole thing. Okay, and I'm not disagreeing with your point. What I'm saying is that is really about the only thing that is different between Dallas and everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I agree 100% with you.
And when you look at especially baseball and basketball, NBA, the money's made when you sell the team.
Yeah.
The problem with Jerry is, I'm beginning to think of it. There was an old TV show, it'll predate you, called Crazy Like a Fox.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, this was an old man and his son. They were detectives,
Right.
Private detectives, and the old man was the one that was crazy like a fox. Jerry Jones is the same way. There's things that he's doing that I can't understand, that I get aggravated about, but there's no doubt in my mind it's not because he don't know what he's doing. He knows in the back of his mind what the payoff is going to be for this, even though it may not be Super Bowls and wins.
Well, think about it in the political world, right? There is a reason that I say candidates. There's a reason that people that are in politics say and do the things they do. It is to garnish. There's and whether people agree or disagree, there is no bad publicity in today's world.
No.
Okay, so we are. I say no bad publicity to a point. To a point.
My boss always said there was never bad publicity.
Right. It's just. This whole thing, the whole thing with the Redskins and Daniel Snyder, if people hadn't been so upset about him for whatever reason,
non-related football,
then would the Redskins of the Washington football team, would they have sold for that much money? I don't know.
And he made a ton.
And rightfully so. I mean, people can say what they want to. All these people, you can find baggage on anybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of glass house, stuff going on out here. Just because it's magnified and shared with everybody, doesn't mean that anybody's immune to it, right? So there's a lot that goes on to this. And, going into tonight's draft, just switching over to the players. Laney, once again, we're going to see quarterbacks taken high and taken first and all this, and we are not learning from a repeated history here at all. Now, Guy yesterday did some things on like a video, just showing top 5 or 6 quarterbacks and, here's what they like. Here's their girlfriends or wives. Here's the pictures they take, the things they like doing. It wasn't anything like exposing – anything in an unprofessional or a gain for that person making the video. Basically what he's doing was just saying, okay, this is where their focus is. This is what they do. It showed Bo Nix and his wife. It showed Caleb Williams and his girlfriend. It showed Marvin Harrison Jr. And then the young lady that he dates is a Jamaican track star. She's from Jamaica and is on the Olympic team, and it just kind of profiled what they were. And they talked about Caleb Williams already being more of a celebrity because of where he is. It's more, his pictures are more celebrity status, being in Southern Cal. And I can tell you after spending last week there, I say
that's a different world.
It is. And I'm going to tell you what, man, it helped me understand that area of the world so much better. The people out there were incredibly friendly. Everything was pristine, clean, incredible. Now, I didn't go into L.A. I was on the outskirts, south and all that. But remarkable place. And, I can understand why they said, Caleb Williams was about, the celebrity things down there because of just people just live differently. It was,
and he's been a part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Matt Leinart was there. He was all about the camera, and so was old butt fumble guy, Mark
Sanchez.
Yeah, he was all about the. If there's anybody that's ever gone too soon in the draft, it was him.
Yeah. Well, they're saying,
drafted, but he went too soon.
They're saying that there's a real possibility that 6 quarterbacks could be taken in the first round. Cal Hurd gave a great analogy. He said 2 of those quarterbacks will be superstars. 2 of those quarterbacks will be franchise quarterbacks if they get in the right situation, and there'll be at least 2 busts because they're in a situation that they can't win. Now, here's what
4 bust, 2 successful.
Okay. Here's this is Yates's from ESPN. Dropped his name. Field Yates. Mm-hmm. He did it at 6:45 this morning.
Yep.
He's got the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams.
Yep.
And that I don't think that's a surprise to anybody.
No.
Got the Commanders taking Jaden Daniels, but they said that will they double down and take the rocket arm Drake May?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't feel good about Drake May. I'm sorry.
I feel the exact opposite of you. This guy, I'm going to tell you, I spent the last 4 days pulling highlights from these guys and watching what they do. The thing that I saw about Caleb Williams is I question, all right, and I hope that he is successful. I hope all these guys are. But just watching things, I don't know how he's going to handle the speed and diversity of the NFL. All right, from an emotional standpoint.
I'm concerned about the maturity side.
And I think that you got
to be a really big boy when you step into the NFL.
It's a little different, right? The pressure. All right. The second thing with Jaden Daniels, all right, is he had 12,000 yards passing and 3,000 rushing. Take the rushing side out of it. Okay, take it out. What allowed him to throw for 12,000 yards is the fact that he could run for 3. Okay,
right.
Then you come to Drake May. Let me tell you something. Rocket arm is not even close to accurate. His arm is landing from. I'm telling you, his arm it's like being shot out of a cannon. Okay, it is that strong. His ability to see things in front of him happening in real time, but predicting where people are going to be and how they're going to be there is way ahead of any of these other guys. It's not even close.
That was the report going into the first of the season.
Right.
Now, part of it you can say, did he have the ideal situation to showcase his talents at Carolina, and did that adversely affect his showing? Right. You know what I'm saying? We talk about that all the time with different – Andrew's big on that. He always said that's why so-and-so at quarterback at Clemson didn't make it. He didn't have no weapons. Same kind of thing.
So think of it like this. In the athletic world, you have several different types of players, but these are the two main. You have great players, all right, that perform at a very high level with other great players and exceed expectation. Then you have great talented players that do a lot on their own because of what they can do here or there, and it really is not affecting so much the people around them. All right? Then you have players that are really good talents, but they have nothing around them, and then they don't do hardly anything because they're trying to do it all. Okay? So what happens is when you take a tremendous talent like May is, all right, that's been through the ringer, all right, and he kind of lived on both ends of that where he had great receivers around him, all right, and they tried to run the ball a little more and do things, and then he tried to do it kind of like Sam Howell. You know, Sam, as long as Drake May doesn't go to Washington, he's going to be okay.
And that goes back to what really, Kelleher said about the situation. Yeah. Where does he go? Where does he land?
Yeah.
Now, Yates has got these. Drake May going to New England.
Yep, that's where he needs to go.
And
he'll do well under May.
Marvin Harrison Jr., they got him going to the Cardinals than he has from the very beginning. And they need a receiver. The Chargers are smart. They're taking an offensive tackle out of Alabama.
Yeah, he is really good.
That's the Jim Harbaugh effect there.
He's really, really good, Lanny. The boy's good.
Let me take a break. Let me get these comments and I'll take a break. Wayne Ward, good morning. Lincoln Pauley, good morning. Lincoln says Redskins is right. Hope they bring it back. Junior Adams, good morning. Andrew, we will be lucky if 2 are successful. And you're probably right. And Andrew said best way to deal with the guy that has a rocket arm is put him on his back. I think the fact that May can't block for himself might end up being the issue. And that's depending upon where he goes.
Yeah.
Now, I got a thought about quarterbacks, but I'm going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, I'll give you the breakdown of what I think about them.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. And we are back. Glad to have you along with us here on a Thursday morning. Nice day out there. All right, so let me pick up where I left off. We were at number 5. Chargers take a tackle out of Alabama.
Good player.
The New York Giants taking a wide receiver out of LSU.
Is that the
Neighbors? Malik Neighbors.
Oh, man, that dude is good.
Titans take an offensic tackle out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, the
Joe Alt, 6'9".
Alt. Yeah.
Yep. Now, here's a projected trade. The Vikings get number 8, and they trade with the Falcons, get number 8. The Falcons get number 11, 129, and a 2025 third rounder.
Who are they moving
to take J.J. McCarthy?
God.
Okay, and that's been the talk.
Golly.
And they've got Sam Darnold. That's the other one they've got up there. The Bears, with the number 9 pick, take a wide receiver out of Washington.
Oh, the
Aduza.
Yeah, I think he's number 1. That kid is. Yeah, he's going to be a game
projected
changer.
Trade. Colts trade up with the Jets, go to 10, give up 15 and 82, and they take Brock Bowers out of Georgia, tight end.
That's a good move, because they're gonna. The Jets need some money back from the Rodgers deal, so they can get some with this and secure some other spots. So that's Indianapolis that's doing that.
Yeah,
is that right?
Mm-hmm.
With the Jets?
Yep.
That okay, yeah. And Bowers, God, man, he's pretty good, man. I don't know if Rod. Wow. I mean, I can see them doing that for capital reasons, but wow, Brock Bowers to the Jets. I don't know, man. That's tough.
Falcons in their trade wind up taking a defensive tackle, Byron Murphy, out of Texas.
That kid may be the best player in the draft that nobody's talking about. He's amazing.
The Broncos take Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama.
Speed in off of the defensive end. Yeah.
Now there was talk that they may grab a quarterback.
Who's that?
The Broncos. Sean Payton had his eye on a quarterback. He's got Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. That's his only quarterbacks.
Well, if Peyton wants a quarterback, he's going to trade up and get either Daniels or May. Okay, he's going to go that far. He's going to go all in because he went all out on Wilson.
Penix is still on the board, and he goes to the Raiders at number 13. All they have is Gardner Minshew.
Hey, man, it's Minshew mania.
But they've got Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams as wide receivers.
I like that team. I mean, I do. I like, the potential of what they've got there.
Saints showing they take an offensive tackle out of Penn State, and I'm not even trying to say that name.
That kid's a good player.
Or the offensive tackle that the Jets are going to take in the mock trade.
It's a great draft
Indianapolis.
For offensive line.
They take offensive tackle. Philadelphia does a trade with Seattle. Eagles get 16 and 81. Seattle gets 22 and 50.
Yep.
They take Quentin Mitchell out of Toledo, a cornerback.
Yeah, that kid's a game.
Jacksonville takes Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. Bengals take Jared Verse, edge rusher out of Florida State.
I like that kid. I like watching him. He's got a serious skill set.
The Rams take Bo Nix.
Oh yeah,
he will be a good backup to Matt Stafford.
That's the second one.
You think so?
Yep. And I hope it's all 8 or 10 or 15. You know what I'm saying? But when you translate things to the NFL, none of this, it's the same assessment crap every year. Well, he can run. He's good outside the pocket. He can – dude, you got to stand back there and throw it.
In the NFL, that's correct.
You can't get out there and I'm going to be faster than T.J. Watt. I'm going to be faster than Joey Bosa. Look. No, you're not.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Steelers had released starting center Mason Cole early in the offseason, and they're taking Graham Barton, who's a guard center out of Duke. Now, here's the deal. He was a center in 2020 when he was a true freshman, and then he moved to left tackle for 3 seasons. Now they're going to put him back inside.
Do you know why? Because the nose positions, the nose tackle positions in that AFC are getting so good that they basically have to have that kind of, footwork, but yet big motor grader like you talked about, snapping the football. And basically Chris Jones is redefining that role.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy goes to the Dolphins, wide receiver out of Texas. In that mock trade, Troy Fontenot, he's a guard, offensive tackle out of Washington, goes to the Seahawks.
Number 55.
Yeah.
He was great. He's your kind of guy.
Yep.
Because he could not only get out on the edge, but he could pull and wrap.
Yeah.
But he could still do this. Move. You know what I'm saying? Engage and move. Yeah, he's a good player.
Minnesota on that trade we talked about earlier gets an edge rusher out of UCLA.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Cowboys take an offensive tackle out of Oklahoma.
Great player.
The Packers take an offensive tackle out of Georgia.
What's the theme here?
Oh, it says full of offensive linemen. Buccaneers take Chop Robinson, edge rusher out of Penn State.
Is good.
The Cardinals take Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. The Bills take Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. And then here is the projected trade. It isn't done on day one. Commanders get 29. The Lions get 36 and 100. And they would take Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle out of Arizona. Ravens take Darius Robertson out of Missouri, edge rusher.
Yeah, he's
49ers take Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Love that guy.
Love the name. Cornerback out of Alabama.
That kid is special.
And then Adonia Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas.
Yep. Lane, that's another game changer that kind of, is, for whatever reason, I say overlooked. I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but this is one of those kids that is an excellent, route runner. But also he can catch the ball in traffic. Like he's able to create separation in traffic, in congested areas, and come down with the ball. This is going to be interesting.
If you were looking for a wide receiver, okay, tell me what characteristics you would list as the most important down through. What would be your number one characteristic that kid had to do?
It would have to do with my quarterback.
Okay.
It would have to, because the ability to deliver the ball to the type of receiver you are means everything. You can have the fastest guy on the field. Let's just say you've got a quarterback that can kind of fit the bill. What would you want your number one attribute to be for that wide receiver? For that wide receiver, I would want his ability to be able to get off the ball.
Okay.
Off of press coverage and to create separation in his route early on, not later in the route, early on, because as much as you and I talk about the offensive line and defensive line being the go of the team, the ability to throw the ball 3 to 7 yards and complete that in that crazy fast environment and come down with it is almost equally as important as 3 yards in a cloud of dust from a ball control standpoint, right? The flash part of it is, if you got a guy that can do that, then more attention has to come to him from the second and third level, correct? All right, from linebackers and then safeties. That allows you to put a speed guy out there on the other side that is not near the route runner or do that, and then go deep. You see what I'm saying?
Chad said route runner and off press based off route. Okay,
that's what I think.
Now, one of the attributes
let me tell you this: Chad Mullis was really good at that.
Yeah,
he was a great wideout. He and I played in a really good conference. It was Western 4A football back then. It was South. McDowell, South Caldwell, McDowell, Watauga, who was not very good at that time. Okay, they were okay, but they weren't very good. They're not like Watauga now. Okay, and you had Freedom and East Burke and McDowell, Hickory. The one thing that Chad was able to do that, like the players at Hickory and McDowell, Freedom was mainly a running team, but McDowell was a little bit more. Hickory's a little bit more on that side, kind of like South. The thing that Chad was able to do is kind of what a couple of our guys at East Burke were able to do. He was able to get off the ball, if there was a press or just a tighter coverage, and be able to secure the ball. And their quarterback, who's one of my very dear friends too, growing up, playing against him, he had that ability to get Chad the ball in that 3 to 5 yard range, and then that they could move the football consistently. So I remember our game plan was, listen, we're going to do everything we can do to keep Scott Parham from throwing that football to Chad,
right,
and make him run the ball, because our defensive line was so. I'm just giving an example, but what Chad's talking about is 100% right. When you look at that, because he understands that, because that's what he did,
right,
and it made his. I thought it made their team much better.
One of the comments that I hear a lot of time, and I want to see where you think this attribute falls. I don't want to say the ability, because everybody's got the ability, but do they have the cojones to come across the middle? How important is it for wide receivers to come across the middle?
You have to throw the ball in the middle. Remember when the Steelers didn't do it last year? Then they started.
You can't always throw outside you can't always throw outside the lines.
Right, Lenny. And when you look at things, from an offensive standpoint and even defensive standpoint, there are, especially when you run zone, there are holes in the zone. That's why college basketball teams don't run much zone. Syracuse does, right, or did, but most college basketball teams play man and off man, because when you play zone, there's so many holes that can be manipulated, and if you have a quarterback wide receiver tandem that understand anything about positioning and about where to anticipate throwing the football, it makes it very, very difficult to be able on passing, especially on passing downs, to be able to control anything, because it's so quick. You're looking at less than 2 seconds. You're in your spot, or the ball's out, and then you're in your spot at second 3. It's caught. You got a first down. That's why I think that Bo Nix and Drake May have the greatest opportunity. I think J.J. McCarthy's a big unknown, because he really didn't have to. I'm not criticizing when I say he didn't have to do anything. That's not what I mean. It's just he didn't have to be that dynamic. in order to do things. He didn't have to have the rocket arm to be able to make things happen, okay? Because he had two basically NFL backs in the backfield along with an NFL offensive line, right? The understanding of Bo Nix to be able to see things, I think he's going to be kind of like last year's Will Levis, all right? He's going to be, he's not – how you pick Penix in front of Bo Nix is beyond me. And you know what? Penix put out a letter. It was a great letter to the NFL. Hey, look, I've shown that, yes, I've been injured, but I've been able to come back from injury.
I thought that was a great –
It was, but still you are where you are. And, just because you come back from an injury doesn't make you stronger, all right, because the injury's there. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then young people that have 2 knee surgeries in high school don't drop down the draft board, or – they don't really, they continue to get better after those knee surgeries, not, just staying the same or never, okay? Personal experience, right? On all these levels, okay? So, there's a lot there to that. Now, modern science and biotechnology and the way they do things, yes, it is different. Mm-hmm. It is different. A lot different, but it's still not natural. And I just think there's a lot of questions there.
Well,
and where he throws the ball is one of them.
Yeah.
Here.
Let me do this. I'm going to take my last break. I got to quit just a little bit early because I got a conference call coming up at the top of the hour. But I want to talk to you about quarterback traits, okay, and how important they are. Not just where they go, but what those traits are for a quarterback, because I think there's some of them that they can't – well, I'll save it. Back in a minute.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. I think it is.
Yeah.
Back.
He was straight up with it, though. It was great. It's really good.
We were talking off the air, and I'll share this and get your thoughts. When it comes to quarterbacks, to me, I think it's important that you have a quarterback, not a quarterback that can take the team on his back 17 games, 4 quarters a game. But you have to have a quarterback that when you kind of come into a lull, that has a little juice or desire, or I want to say enough arrogance to think he can take you to the next place. Drew Brees always did. He was never in a situation, and you talk about his size and everything else, but I think for a quarterback, you got to have a little bit of that in you, because if you don't, you're always going to be completely dependent on your receivers, your backs, your running game, your linemen, and I don't think you can take that much off a quarterback and be successful as a team.
And their attributes have to come through in times of difficulty. That's why, that the Rams made the trade, with Goff for
Matt Stafford.
Because Matt Stafford played at Detroit hurt, broken ribs, broken shoulder, clavicle, all.
And then Goff found success at Detroit, so it wasn't just Detroit; it's having the right pieces.
Yes, and the ability to do what you do and do it well. There's so many different things and fits. It just wasn't a good fit. Just wasn't a good fit, or much better fit. Yes, just because you're great at something doesn't mean that you take that greatness and put it in this environment and then it becomes successful. Because it's about how you respond to the environment you're in with the pieces that are there.
Right.
And focus on the controllables while trying to uplift everyone around you. Stafford did that at Detroit.
And Stafford was out of Georgia, right?
Yes. Yeah. And you talking about a rocket arm?
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be interesting because in today's world, what sells tickets early on is the anticipation of. And unfortunately, things that are boring but work, the shiny object, again, there's a reason you fish with spinnerbait.
Right.
There's a reason.
Yep.
Okay? There's a reason. And it's not because it may be the best bait that there is out there, but it's the shiniest and most attractive.
We were talking about something totally different before we went on air this morning, and it brings the thought to my mind. The teams, and the Jets are one of them already, okay, that when they moved Zach Wilson, it wasn't working. The Giants couldn't do it. They doubled down on Daniel Jones.
Okay.
And it's not going to work. It's not working. So why is it, or do you just talk yourself into, I'm on the right track, I'm gonna double down?
Well, I think you have to be invested into what you're doing, but you also have to see the outcome of something and give it time to develop. And in today's NFL, there is no developmental process. It's right now. They draft these players and play them right away. And it's because, and there's a lot of criticism for baseball, for people being paid for what they've done. Not, they may be past their whatever, but they're getting paid on what they've done. There is a reason for that. And the two sports are drastically different from a health standpoint. I get all that. But when you put that kind of capital into someone, you say, well, they got to play right now because I'm paying them this. Sometimes your payday comes later after your initial investment.
But you need to make that decision before you draft them and have an understanding. I'm either going to play him and we win or we lose, or I'm going to develop him because he's my future.
Well, you gotta look
but
at
he's my future a year
GM,
away.
And you got to say, are these process-oriented people?
Yeah.
And if you're an owner and you hire either one that's not, they both have to be process-oriented. They have to be on the same page. And if they're not, I think the greatest, the worst, the absolute worst firing of the offseason was the Titans firing their head coach.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible. Terrible.
Short-sighted.
It's terrible. But your GM is not on the same page with your head coach who played for, the most successful coach in NFL history.
Morning, Brian.
And, of course, you'll hear, well, yeah, but he didn't do this without these. Back up. The most successful coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
All right? You don't get that way by being a screw-up. Okay?
Nope.
Or you can't do this and you didn't have this player. And you can No. The most successful. And then you have a direct disciple of that. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's more important to go out with somebody that has this offensive prowess and genius. How'd that work out for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
They went away from Ken Wisenhunt, who got to a Super Bowl, because they needed somebody as an offensive guy. Because that's the way the league's going. And it's exciting. No. Mm-mm.
Now, let me ask you this on a quarterback. This is another comment from Cowherd. If you take a quarterback early and you play him, you decide to play him, and they play the whole first year, you get to Thanksgiving of the second year, is that enough time to decide whether you keep them and continue investing in them or that you didn't get it right?
30 games minimum. 30.
That's close, yeah.
Yeah, and, I think that you have to – now, again, sometimes things become very apparent early on. Mm-hmm. Ryan Leaf's a great example. Mm-hmm. Jamarcus Russell's a great example. I don't think it really would have mattered if either one of them would have, had 2 years to study under or 3 years to do this. It may not have been quite as bad, but the makeup there was not what was anticipated. It just didn't materialize. Right. I still think that you will have it. This is why I say that. When you look at Andy Dalton, is there anything about Andy Dalton that reads flash to you ever? Mm-mm. But yet he was incredibly consistent when he was with Cincinnati, and he's always been a guy that, is dependable. He distributes the ball. He does the things, that you ask him to do.
Is that a shortcoming of the team not realizing they've got to put X amount of weapons with him to take him to the next level?
Yeah, but I think his level only goes as high. Yeah, no, to your point, I think his level only goes as high as, the ability for him to distribute the ball.
Because if he doesn't give the ball away, he's somebody that you can kind of depend on.
And Andy Dalton, took care of the football. You make risky throws. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have turnovers. But he was more conscious of taking care of the football and relying on some defense. Well, it's like people talk about Andy Reid. You hear, he's the greatest, one of the greatest offensive minds ever, and he can do – what did Andy Reid build on his team? He built his defense. Mm-hmm. He brought in Spags. Okay? He built his defense to be able to utilize his offensive weapons as such so he could manage the game.
Right.
Not so he could throw the ball everywhere and run over here and do this crazy flip. He could manage the game under the context of my defense is able to do this, therefore on my chart I can look and see statistically and with a gut feeling, merge the two together and say, yes, I can go for it on fourth down here, or no, on third down and 8 we need to run the ball instead of throwing it here. Mm-hmm. He can do all of those things because he managed the game, not because his mind – he has a great offensive mind. It may be one of the great – but his mind for managing his team is what makes him a Super Bowl champion, not Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he understands –
not just Mahomes. I'm sorry, not just Mahomes.
You understand all the facets and how they've all got to work together. If they don't, 100%. Nothing's going to work.
Exactly.
It's got to be a combination. It's not one over the other. That's why, in my opinion, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers never got more Super Bowls because they didn't have everything that they needed to take the team to the next level. They can only do so much, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't like this coach, or he's just calling his own plays and doing this and doing that. When you get to that point, it's because there is a dynamic breakdown of the process in order to, be able to achieve at a high level. So then you just start chunking. You just start doing anything you can do to survive, and it becomes about right now instead of about 8 games out, 10 games out, 12 games out. When you look at the Chiefs, they were struggling midseason and did not look very well. Andy Reid could, I say care less, that's not true, but he kept looking out we need to qualify for the playoffs. We need to get to the playoffs. After that, we can take care of what we need to. He keeps looking out 3 to 5 games, looking out 3 to 5 games, 8 games, 10 games, 7 games. He looks out. All right, that's what you do. That way you're not reactionary. You continue to plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, well, I want to be 11-0 going in, or 15-0 going into the playoffs. Well, but that doesn't matter once you get there. We've got the momentum. Momentum is not what wins Super Bowls.
Right.
Process is attention to detail. This is why I have questions about the way that these quarterbacks are lined up in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about the wow and right now instead of about a future investment and saying, hey, we have the opportunity to develop this young talent to sit beside this other talent that has been there and gone through it, share those experiences, pay the quarterback now to share those things, be a mentor and help this player, and be up front with the quarterback that's here now. Mm-hmm. What did they do in Kansas City? They did that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL who got traded from the 49ers to the Chiefs, which was a disaster. People can say, listen, all day long that's an arguable point, saying that Kaepernick was better than
Alex Smith.
Okay? You can say that all day long, all right? That's fine. I disagree 100% with that in every facet of everything that means anything, okay? But Alex Smith was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He got traded to the Chiefs.
Which allowed Patrick Mahomes to sit for a year.
And Andy Reid saw, wait a minute, this Mahomes kid can throw the ball like I've never seen anything like this from an athletic standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. What he's doing at Texas, I mean, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bring him in. The goal was basically 2 to 3 years under Smith. Dude, it wasn't 18 months, 16, 18 months. And Alex Smith will tell you, this kid,
and he knew and understood when he got to Kansas City what his purpose and his role was.
But you got to remember, a football player is not who Alex Smith is or was. Alex Smith is a man of significance. He is not focused on success. All of the things that he did in San Francisco for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Carson Wentz and his wife.
Yeah.
He wants to, he's not being incredibly successful.
Making an impact off the field as well.
He wants to be a person of significance to help others in whatever position he can be in, whether it's being the leader on the football team in the quarterback position, doing the very best he can do, which I didn't think he was a very good NFL quarterback. The reason the Eagles won the Super Bowl was not because of Carson Wentz. Is because the most underrated player that may have ever played a position in playoff times ever that got released.
Nick Foles.
Yeah, he's our MVP.
Journeyman.
But he's just not good enough to, he's not better than this guy. I'm like, huh? Really? And again, it's all about process, and I'm not seeing this year in and year out in this draft. I'm seeing the wow factor. And think about, let's just go back and think about the Cleveland Browns. To this day, to maybe a year or two ago, would that franchise been any worse off as Tim Tebow as their quarterback?
Mm-mm.
How many multiple ways would they be better as a franchise?
It also would have given him time to build other pieces.
Yeah. But instead, we have characters like Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Colt McCoy.
Looking for the quick fix. That's why
where we are.
That's why they kind of tread water around. That's the biggest reason that they do. All right, draft is tonight. Don't forget it. Be interesting to see what happens. Of course, I won't be excited tonight because Panthers don't have a pick. They don't have a pick till tomorrow.
We want to talk about this in the morning.
Yeah, we can't. No, we can't. I'll tell you why we get off there.
No, sorry.
No.
I actually have some time tomorrow, so that's why I said
that's good. That's okay. Just hang on. Hang on to that thought. Y'all have a great day.